First, it was great to get a big-time win on senior day, senior night for our seniors. We had such good contributions from our seniors, whether it be Nate Harvey, Garrett McGinn, Ray Tillman. I'll talk about him a little bit later. Those guys just played and played extremely tough and hard all night. We don't have very many seniors on the field playing a lot of snaps, but the ones that we had playing snaps in the game, we got to take our hat off to the way they played throughout the game. I thought Anthony Scott had major contributions in the game. All over the field, there were major contributions to our football field from our seniors. But kind of the flip side of the coin was the way that our freshmen played. As I looked at the tape, I don't like to get into talking about freshmen too much, but Sneed had just a fantastic game. We had a lot of guys contributing for the first time and some guys contributing as true freshmen. Some of the names that come up, Stringer played really well. Hickman played well. Leroy Henley, Xavier Smith, Blake Pro, Peyton Winstead, Daniel Charles, Nolan, and Miles. The reason why I bring these guys up is because after the game, a lot of our seniors were talking about the freshmen. And they called on the freshmen and called on the sophomores and juniors to come help them have a complete senior day, so I was glad that we were able to support them in a major way. I'll go back and talk offensively a little bit. I thought we did a much better job of running the football. I thought we were much more creative in the way that we ran the football, and our guys did a good job. Holt Nailers, the conference offensive player of the week, did a really, really good job throughout the game. It was one of those games where everything in his progressions was correct for the most part, and his run game decisions were really good outside of two late opportunities to just hand the ball off, and he ran it at the end, which made it a little tough. Defensively, you'd have to say that we're anchored right now by Nate Harvey. He is in record-setting mode. There's no question about it. Did a great job for us, and for that, he's the defensive player of the week in our conference. So when you have an offensive player and defensive player of the week in the conference, it makes you feel good about guys playing well together. Special teams, we continue to try to grow and really like what we're seeing still every week from Jake, who in my opinion is definitely, is our special teams player of the year. If you had to say it right now, he's been off the charts. He's done a really good job. Moving forward to Cincinnati, we're going against a team that plays outstanding defense. I think there's only been 2 teams to get 400 yards on them. And they've had to work for everything they get. This week is going to be a week about we're going to have to get some 2-yard, 3-yard, 4-yard gains to keep the chains together, and then when we get a chance to hit a one-on-one opportunity, we're going to have to hit it. They do a really good job on the perimeter playing one-on-one football, and we got to know where our receivers are going to be. Our quarterback, I think, has done a good job of putting the ball where it's supposed to be. Our receivers have got to do a better job of being exactly where they're supposed to be. We did a better job of it this past week. We got to continue that mode. And defensively, it all starts around their quarterback, number 9, and then the backfield behind him. Everything is going to come off the run for them. They have a 1,000-yard rusher. They do a good job in the RPO world, and they also do a good job in the run-action pass. So we've got to be able to stop the run once again. Once we adjusted our defense in the first and second quarter against UConn, we were definitely on. And we played a spectacular performance. We had a spectacular performance the rest of the game, and that's what we've got to continue, playing offense, defense, and special teams at a high level.
Could you talk about Holt's progression a little bit? Because we saw him a little bit in the spring, and he was a true freshman, and then when he started the year, he wasn't ready. But did the light come on all of a sudden at one point, or has it continued to get better and better?
It's getting better and better, and then every now and then there has been a little bit of a light where he goes to another level that some people don't, have a chance to see. Last week, even in his percentages, everybody was talking about his pass percentage, he jumped a huge level because he didn't take some of the shots. He didn't throw into bad man-to-man situations where they were dropping a robber down in there. Most freshman quarterbacks can't help themselves but throw it over the middle in some of those situations. He didn't do it. But you didn't see the production in numbers, so that's a huge jump. It's about making sure his bad plays aren't just awful plays, and he did that. Last week, I thought that he did a much better job of anticipatory throws. The ball, I don't think a lot of people is talking about it right now, but the ball that he threw to Trayvon Brown in the back of the end zone was his best throw yet as a college player. It was anticipatory. He worked the backside safety by holding him off just long enough. He let the middle clear it, and threw it right over the guy at the backer's head. and in the back of the end zone when the only person could catch it was Trayvon. So we've seen a great progression in him. He's going to have to come out and prove it again this week. He's got some tough looks. They mixed the fronts up. He's doing a really good job of understanding fronts. He did a great job last week of directing the run game. He did a lot in the run game last week that, we really saw a lot of his progression in the run game.
Scotty, any update on Darius Penix?
Yes, I'll talk about our injuries just a second. Darius Penix more than likely will be out for the game with the ankle sprain. Ray Tillman more than likely will be out for the game. I would say very likely that he's out for the game. He had a deep thigh contusion that required a little bit of an emergency surgery on Sunday morning. So that's something that has happened, and he's right now still in the hospital. And I'll say, as a senior, I got to commend what he was able to do in that situation where Aaron Ramsey could have, we thought that he would have an opportunity to maybe get back for the game. Ray went in and played at a high level. Really, really proud of him, and our prayers go out to him. But Ray and right now and Darius are the ones that I would say at this point in time would be out going into this weekend with such a short week.
Coach, with Snead, is there any thought or any conversation about him potentially sitting one of his next two games so that he could redshirt?
Probably a thought on the outside. That thought is not as much on the inside because you almost got to fight him to have that conversation with him right now of not playing in a game. And I think that our freshmen have really rallied around the thought of it being for the seniors. Our coaches have really, those are not the things that our coaches at this point in time, I'm thinking about it always because I know who's played 3, who's played 2, who's played. So it's something that, sometimes runs on the outside of the building in my mind when I leave the building. But on the inside of the building, I'll lean on Snead and some of his teammates. Because he really thinks that he's starting to put together a really, really good career, and he doesn't want to put a stoppage in that anywhere. But at the same time, this is about trying to win games, as many games as we can win with our seniors, and I don't think that's even crossed his mind. And to have that conversation with him after the great conversations that we had this morning in the team meeting, I decided to tell the team that next year, moving forward, that Snead would be a full scholarship player.
Coach Peterson talked about Cincinnati's defense compared to last year. They've flipped a bunch of personnel, doing a bunch of different things. How much better have they gotten over 1 year?
They're really, really good. I think the one thing that you'll see is multiple fronts, but they have the people. They have the personnel. A lot of the guys, if you look on their sheet, they're sophomores, they're juniors. Really like their defensive ends, 43 and 51. A little bit bigger than the guys we play with, but play with kind of the same mentality of tenacious, going to the getting to the quarterback and tackling the ball on the way there. Really good there. Really like what they've done in their secondary. A lot of those guys haven't played a lot, but they're extremely talented. They've done a good job in their city area and moving out in the region that they're in of recruiting, even before Coach was there, and now he's just extending it with some things that they can do in the off season to recruit. And they've done a good job, but defensively, they play really, really good defense. Put a lot of stress on you on the perimeter, put a lot of stress at the quarterback because he's going to have to make some tight throws. Excuse me. Thank you.